My ex texted, "I'm moving back to town and need a place to stay. Can I crash with you for a few weeks?" I replied, "That's not going to work." Then she showed up anyway with her bag, saying my sister had given her a key. When I changed the locks and told my sister, she was no longer welcome either. Original post. I, 31 male, got a text that made me put down my coffee and reread it 3 times to make sure I wasn't hallucinating. My ex, "Hey, big news, got a job offer back home, and I'm moving back. Need a place to crash while I look for an apartment. Just a couple weeks. You're still at the same place, right?" We dated for 2.5 years. Broke up 3 years ago when she moved for grad school. Stayed cordial but distant. Holiday text exchanges, maybe a comment on social media once or twice a year. That level of friendly. Me, congrats on the job. Can't help with the housing though. Try extended stay or something. Her, come on, seriously? We're adults. It's not weird. Just temporary. Me, not going to work. Good luck with the move. Her, wow, okay. Didn't realize you were still hung up on the breakup. It's been 3 years. Me, not hung up. Just not interested in having a roommate. Especially an ex. Her, whatever. Guess I'll figure it out myself. Cool. Problem solved. Or so I thought. Few days later, I got home from work to find my front door unlocked. My immediate thought was burglary. Pushed it open carefully, phone ready to dial 911. Walked in to find my ex sitting on my couch eating takeout from my favorite Chinese place. 3 massive suitcases lined up against the wall. Moving boxes stacked in the corner. Surprise. I brought General Tso's. Got extra for you. My brain couldn't process what I was seeing. What the hell are you doing in my house? Your sister let me in. She gave me her spare key. Said you were being stubborn and would get over it once I was here. Isn't she the best? My sister, who'd been living with me rent-free for 8 months while she found herself and worked on her art, who had a key for emergencies. She gave you a key? To MY house. Yeah. She said you were just being dramatic in the text and that you don't actually mean no when you say no. You just need to warm up to ideas. I called my sister immediately. She answered sounding way too cheerful. Oh good. She made it. See? I knew you'd be fine with it. You gave her a key to my house. You were being ridiculous. She's not a stranger. You dated for years. Plus she needed help, and you were being selfish. I said no. You say no to everything at first. Remember when I wanted to stay with you? You said no then too, but then you let me, and it's been great. That's completely different, and you asked. You didn't just show up. Because I'm your sister. But she's basically family too. You were together forever. Stop being weird about it. Get over here and get your key back. Now. Can't. I'm out with friends. Besides, I gave it to her, so technically it's hers now. I hung up and turned to my ex, who was still casually eating Chinese food on my couch like this was totally normal. You need to leave. What? I already broke my lease. My stuff is being shipped here. I start work Monday. Not my problem. You assumed you could stay here after I explicitly said no. But your sister said, my sister doesn't own this house. I do. She had no right to give you anything. Her face shifted from confused to angry. Are you seriously going to make me homeless? What kind of person does that? The kind who said no and meant it. Hotels exist. Airbnb exists. Figure it out. Do you know how expensive short-term housing is? I already spent everything on moving costs. Should have secured housing before you moved then. Oh my God, you're actually serious. She stood up, leaving the Chinese food containers on my coffee table. This is insane. You're insane. Cool. Take your stuff and go be insane somewhere else. I'm calling your sister. Go ahead. She doesn't pay my mortgage. She doesn't make decisions about my house. Neither do you. She tried calling my sister. Got voicemail. Tried texting. Nothing. She's not answering. Shocking. It's almost like she created this mess and doesn't want to deal with it. My ex started crying. Big dramatic tears. I can't believe you're doing this. After everything we had together. What we had. Past tense. 3 years ago. We're not together. We're barely friends. You don't get to move into my house because your planning skills suck. Just one night. Let me stay one night and I'll figure something out tomorrow. No. You're such a jerk. Maybe. But I'm a jerk with boundaries who said no and meant it. She finally started hauling her suitcases out to her car. Took her 3 trips. The whole time she was muttering about what a terrible person I was, how she couldn't believe I'd changed so much, how the old me would never do this. The old me was a doormat. Knew me had a spine. After she left, I sat in my kitchen staring at the spare key sitting on my counter. My sister had just given it away, like my house was community property. I texted her, "We need to talk." This was completely unacceptable. No response. Changed my Wi-Fi password that night. She'd been using it for months. Small payback, but it felt good. Update 1. My sister finally responded the next morning with the most entitled text I've ever received. "Can't believe you actually kicked her out." She's crying at some budget motel, saying she can't afford to eat because all her money is going to the room. You know she's not making it up. She always had money problems. This is on you. This is on her for showing up uninvited. And on you for giving away my key. I was helping someone. What's wrong with you? You violated my trust and my home. Big difference between helping and overriding my explicit no. Mom wants to talk to you. Of course she did. Mom called within minutes. Your sister is very upset. What's this about you throwing your ex-girlfriend out in the cold? She wasn't in the cold. She broke into my house. She didn't break in. Your sister gave her a key. Without my permission. After I said no. Well, maybe you shouldn't have said no. That girl was part of this family for years. You can't just abandon people when they need help. She's not part of this family. We broke up 3 years ago. And I can absolutely say who does and doesn't live in my house. You have a whole guest room sitting empty. It would cost you nothing to let her stay. It would cost me my peace of mind and my boundaries. That's not nothing. You're being selfish. We raised you better than this. You raised me to let people walk all over me. Interesting parenting strategy. Don't you dare take that tone with me. You will apologize to your sister and you will help that poor girl. No on both counts. Sister crossed a major line. She's not welcome here anymore. Silence. Then, you can't ban your own sister from your house. Watch me. She gave away access to my home without permission. That's a deal breaker. You're being ridiculous. She made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to lock the door. This was a choice. A deliberate decision to override my no because she thought she knew better. Mom started yelling about family loyalty and how I was tearing the family apart. I hung up, blocked my ex's number. Then I got a text from an unknown number. "This is your ex on my coworker's phone. We need to talk. Your sister told me where your spare key is. The one you hide under the rock by the back door." Ice ran through my veins. I'd forgotten about that key. I'd hidden it there 2 years ago and completely forgot about it. Ran outside. The rock was moved. The key was gone. I called a locksmith immediately. Emergency weekend service, $250. Worth every penny. While I waited for the locksmith, my sister showed up. Banged on the door. "Open up. We need to talk about this." I opened the door but kept the chain lock on. "How do you know about the spare key?" "What?" "The one under the rock. You told her about it." "Oh, that. Yeah. I saw you put there last year." "What?" "She took it. She has a key to my house again." Sister shrugged. "Good. Maybe she can stay there while you're at work, and you don't even have to see her." My jaw actually dropped. "You think that's a solution? Her sneaking into my house when I'm not here. You're making this way bigger than it needs to be. Just let her stay for a few weeks." "No. And you're still not welcome here. Leave. You can't ban me. I'm your sister." "Just did. Goodbye." I closed the door. She banged on it for another 5 minutes before leaving. Locksmith arrived, changed all the locks. Front door, back door, garage door opener. $350 total with a weekend rate. That night I got an email from my ex rambling about how she never thought I'd become so cold and heartless. How the person she dated would never treat someone like this. How she was struggling and I was making it worse on purpose. How my sister was the only decent person in my family. Didn't respond. Marked it as spam. Then my phone started ringing. "My dad, your mother is livid. What's going on?" I explained everything. The unwanted house guest, the key situation, my sister's role in all of it. He was quiet for a long time. That's pretty bad." "Which part?" "All of it. Your sister way overstepped. But you're really not letting her come over anymore. She proved I can't trust her with access to my house. So no, she's not coming over. Your mother's going to lose it. That's her choice. I'm not backing down. Didn't think you would. You get that stubbornness from me. He actually sounded proud. Want my advice? Sure. Stand your ground. Your sister's been coddled her whole life. About time someone held her accountable. Just be ready for the fallout. Already dealing with it. It's going to get worse before it gets better. He wasn't wrong. Update 2. The fallout started Monday morning. I got a call from my boss. Hey, got a weird call from someone claiming to be your landlord. Said there's some kind of dispute about the property. My stomach dropped. I don't have a landlord. I own my house. That's what I figured. Just wanted to check. The person was asking about your employment status and salary. Wouldn't say why. I told them I couldn't discuss employee information. Did they give a name? No. Just said they were verifying information for a housing dispute. Female voice. After we hung up, I sat at my desk trying to figure out what was happening. Someone was calling my work, pretending to be my landlord. Why would? Oh no. I call my mortgage company. Has anyone called recently asking about my account? Let me check. Yes, actually. Yesterday afternoon. Someone claiming to be your spouse asked about making a payment. We told them they needed account authorization to discuss details. I'm not married. I don't have a spouse. Can you flag my account for fraud attempts? Absolutely. We'll add security notes. Then I called my homeowner's insurance. Same story. Someone had called asking about the policy, claiming to be a household member. My ex was trying to what? Establish she lived there? Get information to use against me? I called the police non-emergency line. Explained the situation. They said unless she actually showed up and tried to enter, there wasn't much they could do. But they'd file a report for documentation. That night, my sister sent a text from a different number. This is getting out of hand. Ex is freaking out. She's saying you're ruining her life. Just let her stay there for a few weeks. Is that so hard? Don't contact me from new numbers. This is harassment. I'm trying to fix this. You created this. The fix is leaving me alone. Mom says you need to get over yourself. Mom doesn't pay my mortgage. The mortgage they helped you with. A gift 3 years ago doesn't give them ownership rights. Done with this conversation. I blocked that number too. Wednesday, I came home to find notice on my door. From code enforcement. Anonymous complaint about illegal occupancy and unpermitted rental activity. What the hell? Called code enforcement. They said someone reported I was running an illegal short-term rental without a permit. They need to schedule an inspection. I'm not running any kind of rental. I live here alone. We still need to verify. It's policy when we receive complaints. I scheduled it for that weekend. Took time to document everything, my mortgage statements, my deed, my utility bills, everything proving I live there alone and own the property. The inspector came, looked around, saw it was clearly just my residence. Marked the complaint as unfounded. Any idea who might have called this in? I asked. Anonymous complaints are common in neighbor disputes. Could be anyone. It's not a neighbor dispute. It's my ex-girlfriend and my sister harassing me. He gave me a sympathetic look. Might want to lawyer up if it continues. This kind of thing can escalate. That was Friday. Saturday morning, the real nuclear option hit. My parents showed up. Both of them. With my sister. And my ex. I watched through the doorbell camera as they approached. Didn't open the door. We know you're home. We need to talk. Mom shouting. I use a speaker. No. Open this door right now. No. You're trespassing. This is family business. The family member in question is banned. The ex-girlfriend is not welcome. Leave. My ex stepped up to the camera. Please. I'm sorry about everything. I just need a place to stay for a little while. I'll pay rent. No. I'm desperate. I'm living in my car. That was a lie. My sister had posted Instagram stories from a coffee shop earlier, tagged with my ex, both of them looking perfectly fine. Not my problem. Dad spoke up. Son, just open the door. Let's talk like adults. I'm being an adult. Adults respect boundaries. Adults don't show up at houses after being told no. Your mother wants to see you. She can see me when she's not trying to force me to house someone against my will. Mom started crying. Big dramatic sobs. My own son won't even talk to me. You're using tears to manipulate me. It's not working. My sister. You've turned into such a jerk. The old you would never. The old me was a pushover who let people walk all over him. Yeah, I've changed. Deal with it. They stayed there for 20 minutes. Yelling, pleading, crying, threatening. I didn't open the door. Finally, Dad convinced them to leave. But as they were walking away, I heard my sister say to my ex, "Don't worry, I have a plan." That was ominous. Sunday morning, I woke up to my phone exploding. Texts from aunts, uncles, cousins I hadn't talked to in years, all saying basically the same thing. "Can't believe what you did to your ex, and your sister is devastated, and family should help family." My sister had posted on social media a long sob story about how I'd become cruel and heartless, how I kicked a homeless woman out onto the streets, how I banned my own sister from my life for trying to do a good deed, how our parents were heartbroken. The post had 200 shares, comments full of people calling me every name in the book. I could have posted my side, could have explained the full story. Instead, I screenshot everything. Every text where I said no. Every instance of them ignoring my boundaries. The code enforcement harassment. The calls to my work. And I took it to a lawyer. Monday morning, I had a consultation. The lawyer looked at everything and nodded. This is harassment. Possibly trespassing. The false reports could be criminal. Want to send a cease and desist. To all of them, we could do a joint letter to your ex and sister. Your parents too if you want. Do it. He drafted it that day. Formal legal letterhead. Outlined every instance of harassment, boundary violation, and false reporting. Stated that any further contact would result in legal action, including restraining orders and civil suits. Cost me $400. Worth every cent. The letters went out certified, mail Tuesday. By Wednesday afternoon, my phone had gone completely silent. Thursday, my dad called from a number I didn't have blocked. We got the letter. Good. Was that necessary? Yes. They wouldn't stop. Your mother is beside herself. She'll get over it. Your sister is talking about moving out of state. Cool. You really don't care? I care about my boundaries being respected. Since that wasn't happening, I escalated. They can be mad all they want. They're the ones who kept pushing after being told no. He sighed. For what it's worth, I think your sister needed this wake-up call. She's been entitled for too long. Your mother babied her. This might actually help her grow up. Or she'll just find new people to manipulate. Probably. But that's not your problem anymore. We talked for a bit longer. He was the only one who seemed to get it. Everyone else was stuck on but family and couldn't see past that to the actual issue. Final update. It's been 6 weeks since the cease and desist letters. Time for the final wrap-up. My ex found an apartment. Heard through mutual friends she's living with 2 roommates and hating it because they're messy and don't respect her space. The irony is delicious. She tried contacting me once more through a mutual friend. Asked if I'd be willing to talk, maybe get coffee, clear the air. I told a friend no. And if she keeps asking people to reach out for her, that's violating the cease and desist. Haven't heard anything since. My sister did move. Not out of state like she threatened, but to the next city over. Living with a boyfriend I'd never heard of before. Based on mom's stress phone calls to dad that he tells me about, it's not going well. Apparently the boyfriend is controlling and won't let her do whatever she wants. Also known as having boundaries, but sure. She sent me a friend request on social media last week. Didn't accept it. Didn't decline it either. Just left it in limbo. Mom is still mad at me. We're not talking. Dad says she'll come around eventually, but honestly, I'm fine if she doesn't. She made it clear where her loyalties lie, and it's not with respecting my autonomy. Dad and I talk every couple weeks. He keeps me updated on the family drama. Apparently my sister told everyone I threatened to sue her, which isn't true. The letter just said continued harassment would result in legal action. But she's spinning it as me being cruel and litigious. Some relatives believe her version. Others have asked for my side. I send them the screenshot collection and let them draw their own conclusions. About half come around. The other half think I should have just been nice and helped out. Can't please everyone. The house feels like mine again. Changed some furniture around. Painted the guest room and turned it into a proper home office. No more spare room for whoever needs it energy. Got a security system upgrade. Cameras on every entrance. Motion sensors. Alerts sent straight to my phone. Probably overkill, but after all this, I'm not taking chances. Someone asked me last week if I regretted how hard I went with the boundaries. If maybe I should have just let her stay for a week or two to avoid all the drama. Here's the thing. Giving in wouldn't have avoided drama. It would have created more. Because if I let her stay just a few weeks, it would have turned into months. She'd have established tenancy. Getting her out would have required formal eviction. She'd have had rights to my space that she'd have exploited. And my sister would have learned that she could override my decisions anytime she felt like it. That my no was negotiable if she pushed hard enough. The drama was inevitable. The only choice was whether to deal with it on my terms or theirs. I chose mine. Do I wish my family relationships weren't damaged? Sure, but I don't wish I'd done anything differently. They showed me who they were when my boundaries mattered less than their convenience. That's valuable information. My ex showed me she'd learned nothing about respecting boundaries in the 3 years since we broke up. Also valuable. For anyone dealing with similar situations, saying no is complete. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to explain it into the ground. You don't have to make people comfortable with your boundaries. No is a full sentence. And when people ignore that no, that's when you escalate. Not because you're mean or cruel, but because boundary-stomping behavior only stops when there are consequences. My consequences were change locks, cease and desist letters, and cutting off access. Were they harsh? Maybe. But they were proportional to people who wouldn't take no for an answer. The trash took itself out. My house is peaceful. My boundaries are intact. I'm good. That's the end of it. Moving on with my life now, just with a much smaller Christmas card list.